Hi everybody, I'm Eric Bolvin, and this is improvisation video number 2, How to Play the Blues. You can go to my website, bolvinmusic.com, and download the files that are associated with this video. Also, you can watch video number 1, which deals with note usage. We'll also deal with note usage some in this video. Okay, I think that when you're learning improvisation, there are 3 really essential forms that you need to understand, and that'll cover like 99% of all music. The first is modal music, which we covered pretty much in video number 1. Modal music would include stuff, like so what, impressions, tunes that generally, stay in one mode. And the blues, that's another form. That's the second form we're covering today in this video. And the other form is, the standards involve a lot of diatonic progressions like 2-5-1s, and we'll cover that in another video. So the 3 basic forms, modal, blues, and 2-5-1s. If you know something about each one of those, that covers like a lot of tunes in jazz and in all forms of music. Okay, the blues comes in many forms. Not all blues is 12 bars. Today we're going to use a standard B-flat blues in 12-bar blues in the key of B-flat. And if you download the sheet for your instrument, you'll see at the bottom of the page that I have the chord progressions and scales written out for your key for the 12-bar blues. We're not really going to talk about that. That's just there for you to look at and have as reference. Not to say that stuff's not important. Of course, you eventually want to learn as much as you can about the music. But did the great did Muddy Waters and John Lee Hooker, I don't think they understood all the chords and mixolydians and tritone substitutions and stuff like that. But hipper cats like Herbie Hancock and Robben Ford certainly they do know all that stuff. So I think you need to learn as much as you can. But to get started with the blues, we're going to use I'm going to show you about the 3 phrases of the blues. This is what I call it. Now, if you listen to somebody sing the blues, they sing a phrase and then they kind of repeat that phrase, and then the 3rd phrase is kind of like the punchline, the answer, so to speak, to the problems that are presented in the first 2 phrases. I'm not much of a singer here, but I'm going to sing a little blues for you. My baby done left me, she done gone away. My baby done left me, she done gone away. But I got the dog, and things are gonna be okay. Alright. So, you can see how I phrase that in 3 different phrases. The first 2 are almost the same thing. Pretty much lyrically they were the same. And then the 3rd phrase kind of summed up all the problems. Now, we can take that same idea, play it on an instrument. I'm going to play an easy tune here that everybody should know. It's called Tenor Madness by Sonny Rollins. You'll see how the same phrasing applies to this. Sharp 11 chord right there. Okay, so you see the 3 phrases of the blues. Now, we can improvise using that same idea. Very simple. And we're going to use the 3-note scale again, which you have on your sheet. And we're going to talk a little bit about note usage, because note usage in the blues is really, really important. when we learn and we see, if you look at the bottom of the page, you see all those scales there. You know, all those notes look like they're equal. They're all, you know, a bunch of notes in a scale. And I like to think about each note and how it sounds within the blues. Okay, so we're going to start off with the 3-note scale. It's going to have the root, that's home bass. The flat 3, that's like the cool blue note. And the 6th is a good note that goes with those other 2. The 6th can lead you back to the root very easily, and it's a good note to bounce around. It's not the most stable note in the key, but it's a good note. You can play a lot of melodies with just these 3 notes. Okay, so here we go, 12 bars with just 3 notes. Okay, so it's easy, right? 3 notes, I just played the blues. You don't need a million notes to play the blues. Alright, listen to Muddy Waters, listen to B.B. King. You know, listen to real blues cats. One of my pet peeves is when I hear jazz musicians play the blues, I don't hear the blues. I want to hear, you know, the blues with its form, with its 3 phrases. Alright, and this helps if you're a beginning improviser, just to get a feel. Phrasing and style is much more important than playing a million notes any day when you're taking a solo. And, you know, that's another phrase, you know, taking a solo. Don't think so much that you're a soloist. Think that you're part of the action. You're part of what's happening with the band. You're just adding to what's going on. And you'll have a better time that way, and there won't be so much pressure on yourself. We're going to now add another note to the scale, the 5th. So, I got the 5th, the 6th, the root, and the flat 3 here, the 6th. The 5th is a real cool note. Works really well in the blues, and all right, here we go. You know, just playing 4 notes at a time. It's easy. It's easy to play the blues. All right. And now if you look down at the chord progression at the bottom, hey, we're playing through all those chords. You know, we're playing through all those chords with just 4 notes. We're playing the blues. It sounds good. All right. Down to the 5th line, I'm going to add another note. This is the 9th. It's also the 2nd note in the scale. And this adds a really unique sound to the blues. And I'm going to really use this note a lot in this next chorus to show you that the jazz players really use the 9th a lot. Listen to Miles Davis, he was the master of the 9th. Okay, I'm going to use the 9th. It's kind of a tenuous note, and it gives it a real nice extended kind of jazzy sound. So I can put a little turns in there too, using the 9th. That was kind of fun. And so in number 6, we're now going to add the flat 7th to the scale. Okay, this scale really doesn't have a name. It's just a bunch of notes, which is, you know, I think a better way to approach learning how to improvise rather than looking at a whole scale is to, you know, pick the different notes and get used to using those different notes within the key. And your improvisation will be much more soulful. Okay, so now I'm going to introduce the flat 7 with all those other notes. That's a sharp 11 right there. Okay, so, you know, that's what I do to get started with the blues. It's pretty simple, pretty basic stuff right there. And good luck. Send me an email if you got any questions or comments. And look for part 3 in a couple weeks. Will be about how to play over a 2-5-1 and using the altered scale. Thanks a lot.